Well, I have the greatest movie of all time.
Oh, hey, by the way, I meant to tell you,
Uh-oh.
and you can put this on the podcast if you want.
I will. Not.
So I was
Maybe I...
listening to your Watchmen episode, right?
Yeah.
And immediately when you said, because he had mentioned he picked out a superhero movie. And you're like, oh, I also have a superhero movie, but it's the greatest one of all time. I said, Blankman. And then you didn't say it, and I was like, oh well. And then you said something about Damon Wayans. I was like, I knew it. It is Blankman.
You know why? I know why. That's what I chose for this episode.
Okay.
But it's because I posted it on Twitter, and you liked that too. Before you listen to that episode, that's what got it into your brain.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'll be honest. Whenever people talk about great superhero movies, I make sure they don't forget about Blankman.
Well, hang on.
Not a lot of people have seen it.
We need to play the intro real quick.
Taylor and Alan talking about movies. They may be best friends, but they always disagree. Taylor and Alan, I seen that.
Now we can talk about Blankman.
Blankman.
You know, this is Greg Kinnear's first feature film.
Is it really?
Yeah. I thought that one would trip you up. I thought that would get you the trivia. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have said this is the greatest movie ever. I set myself up.
Because not only is it the greatest superhero movie, it's just the greatest movie.
Yeah, it's the Citizen Kane of Citizen Kanes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've only seen this movie once, maybe twice.
Was it with me?
I know we watched it. Yeah, at least the first time was forever ago. So I couldn't tell you very much about it. There's just a few scenes that stand out in my mind. Now, unless I'm confusing this with another movie, is this the one where some gunmen come in and they shoot their grandma?
Huh. I thought... I'm trying to remember. I thought he gets stabbed. And...
Who?
Damon Wayans.
Right.
And because of that, he gets all paranoid, and he's like a scientist, so he creates this chemical to make his clothes bullet and stab proof.
Right.
And then,
but I thought, okay, am I thinking of a different movie? I want to say they had a grandma, right? Because it's brothers.
Yep.
And then there's a scene where she's in a room, and there's like some other people, and they're doing something. I feel like they're sewing or they're doing something, and a couple guys in masks and machine guns come in, and they just shoot up the whole place and kill everyone. And I don't even really remember why she was a part of it. And then that's what made the guy start doing all the experiments.
Maybe.
I don't know. That scene stands out to me when I think of Blankman, but maybe I'm thinking of something else.
See, I feel like I remember these movies so much better until we start talking about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you start making stuff up that never happened in reality, and I'm like, man.
No, that is real. That is a movie. I just don't know if it's Blankman.
Yeah, just like your Lois and Clark.
Hold on one moment. We're going to take a commercial break.
I seen that.
These guys just walk in and shoot up the building.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm also not saying I trust you. I know your judgment.
I could be wrong.
We're going to have to edit a lot of that out because there's just a lot of us not saying anything for a long time.
A lot of nonsense.
Anyways, after all our research, we have come to the conclusion we are still unsure. Yeah.
Basically, so it's that scene and then the underwear scene where he tests out his spray that he sprayed on his underwear and he stabs it with a knife and it just like bends the opposite way.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so cool.
Like the Indian in the cupboard. Cool.
Yo, very cool. That's about all that I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than, doesn't he? I remember he. Oh, okay. So it's Damon Wayans and his brother. His brother's older, and he's like doesn't have time for his nonsense. David Allen Greer.
Yeah.
and then doesn't he's like he thinks he's gonna get hurt all the time, and he thinks he's like
afraid.
invincible,
Yeah.
and then he gets shot like at the end, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about all that I remember about this movie. I remember enjoying the movie. I just don't remember it.
Yeah. This is another one of those hard ones where I remember loving it, but there's not a lot to say because it's one of those kind of dumb comedies. But
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's Damon Wayans style comedy. At least it's comedy back then.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
But I think their comedy is so much better than something like Adam Sandler.
As in all of the Wayans brothers?
The parody movies. Right? Because
Blankman. You like those more?
So what I'm saying is I like their stuff better than Adam Sandler's stuff. So you have like Scary Movie, the original two, the first two. Those are actually pretty good. The
first couple are, yeah.
Later on they get really bad. But the first two are pretty funny. Blankman is pretty good. I'm trying to think. They have other ones I can't think of.
Parody ones?
Yeah.
They have a lot of newer ones that I haven't seen that I just had no desire to see.
I mean, they have a lot that I don't like as well. Like, what was that? White Chicks? Is that them?
I actually like White Chicks.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Major Payne. That's a good one.
I love Major Payne. That's probably a movie I will do at some point on the show. This shaped my childhood.
But, yeah. And, of course, My Wife and Kids. That was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Was it really?
I love that show. We didn't have cable, and so that was
I feel like you did. It just seems weird for you to say that.
Why?
Like, I feel like you're being sarcastic. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a show that you would like.
I watched it, all the time.
Probably because I love that show also.
Uh-huh.
And we don't both usually love a show.
Yeah, maybe.
A comedy, at least.
Yeah, I've watched that all the time because
we differ a lot.
We didn't have cable, so we just had 5 channels. CBS, ABC, NBC, and what was it? Fox and UPS. Now it's
UPN.
UPN. Now it's the CW, but
yeah.
Back in the day, they used to have in the afternoon, from 3 to 5, they would play sitcoms, and that's when My Wife and Kids and
George Lopez,
and
stuff like that.
What was the other guy? Oh man, what was
which one?
I'm trying to remember the.
Was it a 2000s show?
Yeah, it was right around the time as My Wife and Kids. It's the guy in my head reminds me of Kevin Hart now. He's a smaller guy.
King of Queens.
Yeah.
Kevin James.
Kevin James reminds me of Kevin Hart.
Both Kevin.
What is that show?
Kevin Hart. Does he look like Kevin Hart? Not Kevin Hart. Kevin Smith. Or are you talking about Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart. He's a smaller black guy.
Okay, so we're talking about Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart is not in it.
No, that's what I thought. I thought you were talking about Kevin Smith when I said Kevin James.
Oh, okay. No, it reminds me of in my head.
Oh, yeah. Is it D.L. Hughley?
Yeah. The Hughleys.
The Hughleys. Yeah, that was a funny show too.
Yeah, that all came out at the same time, and
I feel like Hughleys was more late 90s.
No, I mean
I remember watching that as a kid.
My Wife and Kids was 2001, so
right.
it'll all be around the same time, especially if they're playing reruns and stuff, But
this is true.
Anyways, my point was, growing up homeschooled, I had a ton of time in the early afternoons because I'd finish up with school, and then I would just end up watching UPN all the time. And
yeah, same here.
But,
you know what's another one that I watched a million episodes on UPN was that show Blind Date.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. I thought that was Fox, though.
I don't think so. I remember it being UPN. All those reruns were UPN.
Well, these were coming out current.
Well, I think My Wife and Kids was not originally on UPN.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it was like ABC.
No. For sure it was always UPN.
I don't know if UPN had any original programming except for maybe like Girlfriends.
I'm pretty sure all of it was.
I don't think so. Not My Wife and Kids. I want to say it was ABC.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, it don't. It don't not matter.
Well, if Blankman comes on TV, what are you gonna do?
Ahead, yeah. I'll probably watch it just because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And I want to see that scene again.
I might actually. This might be one I like track down and rewatch.
Really?
I have a feeling I'll be disappointed, but
yeah, you might be. And I would like to just to confirm. I'm looking now. My Wife and Kids was ABC.
All right.
But there, that's it.
All right. Well, you ready for? I want to see that.
Dun dun dun. So the movie I've selected was previously mentioned in our last podcast, but it reminded me that for some reason I haven't seen it.
If you say the bench warmers,
it's it's bench warmers. No, for some reason I've never seen this movie yet. I always hear funny things about it. And
if you say Clerks, I'm going to cancel the podcast completely.
It is Rat Race.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's okay.
I've never seen it. I think I've seen the very, very beginning.
You're better off.
But that's it.
It's not very good.
Really?
Yeah. It's all these people who get into this bet. Race. Yeah, so these like super rich guys like decide,
they're like looking for money, right?
Well, these I'm trying to tell you, and you keep interrupting.
Oh,
you see?
So sorry. Here we go.
There's these super rich guys who are gambling on every single thing, and whatever they can find, they gamble on it, and they decide, well, let's see who can get to. I can't remember where they're going. Probably from like Las Vegas to New York or something like that, or the other way around, right? And so they pay, or they tell all these people, whoever can get here first wins all the money. And so you have like 10 different groups of people who are, traveling across the states trying to get there, and then crazy things happen. But I don't know. It's got the guy, Mr. Bean. He's in it.
Yeah.
John Lithgow is in it. Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it. Who did I say after Mr. Bean?
John Lithgow?
He might actually. No.
Wait, so which one is it? Is it Lovitz or Lithgow?
Lovitz is in it. That's who I meant to say.
Okay. I think Whoopi Goldberg is in it too, right?
Maybe. I think Amy Smart might be in this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's. I don't know. I mean,
it's dumb, right?
Yeah, maybe it's right up your alley then. That's a good point.
Oh, well, all right.
I don't care for this. This is not one I would recommend, but you might like it.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'll watch it at some point in my life.
Well, do you have any yeah or nahs? What was your special segment you wanted to do?
Oh, so this is the segment where you talk about movies that we had previously mentioned that we do want to see, and then that now we have seen them.
Yeah.
I've got none.
Yeah, me either.
Well, then there it is. The segment lives
on. If you want to reach us you can get a hold of us on Twitter at ISeenThatPod, or you can get a hold of me directly at AllenRJR.
And I'm at Taylor Enixon.
And you can subscribe to our podcast over on Patreon for $1 a month. You can get all the episodes a week in advance.
Do it. Do it.